Hello, and welcome to The Traveling Pianist. I know it's been a little while since I last posted, a little bit longer than usual, and so I just wanted to give you an update on all of my strategies for coming up with enough money to do something other than just teach and sleep. So, the first venture I want to talk about is teaching. This year I'm going to have to take on students again, and most of my students are just going to be the ones returning from last year. I have a very stable studio, so I don't tend to lose a lot of students. There might be a few more students that I'm turning over to other teachers, and so we'll see how that goes, but otherwise I'll probably just keep most of the same students that I already have. And of course, it's the beginning of September, which means it's the beginning of a new school year, and that means that I am starting to teach a lot more, and it's starting to take up a lot more of my time again. Fortunately, because I'm staying with family at the moment, my living expenses are very low, so I don't have to worry about that so much. Once the sailboat sells, I will probably look into finding a new place to live. Of course, the sailboat may not sell, and then I'll end up moving on to the sailboat, but I'm more likely to actually find a new place to live once the sailboat sells, which in some ways is good, and in other ways it's bad because that means that I'm going to have another large rent bill, which is even going to be larger than it was before, taking up a good percentage of my income, and that's not what I want. I have to figure out a way to rent a place that suits my needs and that will actually make some amount of sense. I'm most likely to find a place to live in Mercer Island, West Bellevue, that sort of area, because that's where my students are, and so I would like to live in that area, so that would cut down on my driving expenses even more. It would also cut down on my car insurance quite significantly, because the biggest percentage of my car's operating expense is insurance. So unfortunately, the plan is to continue teaching until next June, the end of the next school year. I've been discovering that basically if I want to either move onto a sailboat or onto a van of any sort, it basically has to be ready to go. I won't be able to spend any time restoring it. I basically have to move on board and leave. And so that's going to have to be the strategy, and it's going to be a little bit more expensive doing things that way. But it prevents me from having to pay large storage fees, whether it's to a marina or to a storage yard, and you can't really work too extensively on vehicles in either of those locations, at least in this area. I have been performing a little bit again. I performed at Cacao in South Lake Union on Wednesday, which was yesterday, and I am performing there again in 2 weeks. We'll see exactly how much money I get paid out of it. I didn't collect any new email addresses. I got caught up in the morning having to deal with other things, and I wasn't able to print out my sheet for people to sign up for my email list. So I'll definitely bring that again on my next performance, and hopefully that will go okay. Any type of paid performance, like doing another one out in Ellensburg, is basically stalled because I don't have any money, and I need money to actually do those performances. So it's possible once the boat sells, if it sells in the next couple of weeks, then I'll be able to book a performance, but otherwise that is on hold for right now. My other potential sources of income that I've talked about in the past were doing some real estate, and again, I need money to get that started, and I don't have any, so that's stalled. And it's a pretty common theme here. Basically, you can't really make money without some amount of initial input of money, and I just don't have any, so I can't make money aside from just teaching. And so that hopefully that will change by October, which is another huge delay, but it's just the way it goes. I don't know, even if I did sell the boat, if I'd have enough money to do real estate stuff. I'll see how much it sells for if it does sell. If I sell it for enough, then I'll probably do that. If not, there's really not much I can do. I am a little bit concerned too that time-wise, a lot of people do real estate things in the evenings and weekends, which is of course when I am teaching most of the time, so it may not be realistic to actually do that. And finally, my other two sources of income are from having recordings that are published online, and those actually do make a little bit of money. Money trickles in. Really, you need a lot of recordings to really build that, and I do have other recordings that are made, but again, I need to invest money to actually publish them and sell them, and I don't have any money, so that's not going to happen right now. And finally, on the bright side is my YouTube channel, the channel you're on right now. I'll talk a little bit about what's been going on with that. Notice that I've been posting very regularly. There may have been little changes in the editing, in the thumbnails, and that type of thing. So I am making a lot of changes there, and it does actually seem to be working to a certain extent. The thing I like about the YouTube channel is that I don't have to invest any money in it to actually maintain it, unlike my other sources of income. Posting regularly does seem to really help with the YouTube algorithm. It's kind of interesting actually looking at my results so far and just seeing what videos YouTube has put on the suggested video page and the results of that. So it looks like once they actually put a video up on the suggested video page, it gets a reasonable number of clicks. It seems somewhere between 3 and 4% of people who view the video in their suggested videos section end up clicking on it, which is, from what I understand at least, pretty decent. It could be higher, of course, and I'll keep working on it. The interesting thing is exactly which videos it pushes, because it seems entirely random to me. Some people have suggested, making versions or copying names from other people's videos, and I've actually done that in the past, and those videos don't necessarily have the most views, and they're not always what YouTube actually pushes out. Some of the videos are just like random updates, things that I wouldn't really expect for YouTube to push, but every once in a while they'll just show it to like 350 people and it'll get a few clicks, and so that's kind of interesting to see how that works. I have been putting up videos of my recordings, and so that has also been kind of an interesting experience. One of my most viewed videos recently was a recording of me playing a Mozart sonata. So that particular video got about 22 views pretty much immediately, and they're almost all from people that I know. When I come out with recordings and videos like that, I will put that up in my Facebook page, and the interesting thing about actually posting things in Facebook is, for whatever reason, if I post something about like once every couple of months, then it'll get tons of views. If I start posting things regularly, then nothing gets any views. And I'm not entirely sure why that is. Maybe just the people that are on there that are my friends, they're not necessarily interested in the subject matter, they're more interested in me. If they haven't heard from me in a while, they'll be like, hey, look, this is a video that Colin put up, let's see what he's up to. Whereas if I post regularly, they just kind of see the regular updates and they're not quite interested because I'm, present all the time. So that's what I suspect is happening. The other interesting thing that I've found is my older videos of recordings, they seem to consistently get just handfuls of views every now and then, and it has improved actually a little bit since I've been posting other videos, but it seems like those videos of me performing seem to actually do okay. And the nice thing about doing recordings like that is that they're replayable. People often want to hear the same piece multiple times, and if they really like the recording that you put up, they'll play it multiple times. And so I think that's probably what's happening with those, and so that's actually really good news for me. The question that I've always had is whether it's better to put up longer videos of recordings or shorter ones, and I don't really know the answer to that yet, so I'll probably be doing some more experiments coming up here. I did put up a video of just background music recently, and I just wanted to see how it would do, and it did okay actually, but not as well as that Mozart video that I put up earlier. The nice thing about putting up longer videos like that is it increases the amount of watch time when someone actually does watch the video, and YouTube likes seeing large amounts of watch time. And so for the algorithm, I think that actually does help, but it doesn't tend to get as many views from what I see. I think it would be a little bit more searchable if I put up the names of the pieces and put out the recordings individually instead of trying to put up one longer video. So I might re-release all of those pieces that I had as separate videos, and we'll just kind of see what that results in, and whether that ends up with more views than I originally had by just making one longer video of background music. So for right now, I think the most important thing that I can do is just focus on the things that I can do and not worry about everything else. And right now, I can teach. It brings in money. I can sell the boat potentially. That would bring in money, and I can always make YouTube videos. And so I think I'll focus on those three things. They're the lowest risk for me. They require the least amount of investment, and since I don't have very much money to invest in anything, I think that's probably the way to go for right now. I'm also getting faster at editing videos, even if I'm not necessarily getting any better at it. At least I'm getting faster at it. So now that the school year's starting, I should be able to release videos more frequently and not have to worry so much about how long it's actually going to take me to make that video. If I do end up with some money in my bank account, I'm not 100% sure what I would do at the moment. If it's just a couple $100s, I'll probably book a performance out in Ellensburg, and I'm likely to replace my tripod, maybe get a new microphone for my camera so that I can actually do recordings properly and so that I can record performances properly. I think I might invest in some of those things, but I don't know for sure if I would do much beyond that. I don't know if it's worth investing my money doing some real estate stuff at the moment. It is just too risky. I've already made too many somewhat risky investments that haven't worked out, and so I just need to finish recovering from those before I try something like that again. I still see a lot of potential and growth with these smaller performances out in Eastern Washington, and also with his YouTube channel, so I'm just going to focus my attention there. So that's all I have for you today. Thank you for watching. Remember to like, subscribe. So remember to go to my website, submit your email address, and register for my mailing list so you can hear immediately about my performances. And that way I can just directly email you and you'll know exactly when and where I am performing. So that's it today, and thank you for watching.